Hi, this is Kevin, and we're doing a series on how to start your own business. And this is episode 7. We're going to talk about office organization and on paper and with computer programs to help you be successful in your business. Okay, so this is episode 7, how to start your own business. I've had a law business for 15 years and a charter boat business for almost 25 years. And I've learned a lot along the way. There's some things I shouldn't have done, some things I should have done. And anyways, hopefully I've got myself tuned up now. But I just want to share some of these things so I can help you successfully run your business. Today we're basically talking about organizational skills in your office and computer programs that you're going to need for your business, your small business. First of all, you're going to need to have some sort of accounting program. Like I use Quicken Basic Personal for my personal and for my business. Now you can also use Quicken Business, or you can use QuickBooks or whatever. But you're going to need to have a record of how much money's coming in and where it's coming from, how much money's going out, and what you're spending it on. So number one, you're going to need it for your quarterly report for your accountant, which will go on your report at the end of the year. Number two, you're going to need to see how much money am I spending in these different areas: gasoline, rent, repairs, whatever. And then number three, you're going to need to be able to see what your profit and loss is every quarter. Now, you should always have a profit and loss sheet. It looks like this right here. Okay. The profit and loss sheet, and basically your income goes in there, okay, for the quarter and for the year, and then you got your expenses. Now you can put whatever expenses you want on here. I've got advertising, auto mileage, bank service charges, boat fuel, boat storage, and this is for my charter boat business, and I have one for my lawn business, and it has expenses, repairs, and lawnmowers or whatever. So you put in your own expenses on here. And then you're also going to put in your salary, whatever that you paid yourself, because that would be your officer expense, because you are an officer. If you did your subchapter S, you're the 100% sole owner officer, and so your salary's in there, and then anybody else's salaries that you paid, okay? And then you're going to have your total expenses, and then you're going to have either your profit or your loss every quarter. And so you need to know, am I making a profit or am I losing money? And if you're not recording all this in a Quicken program or similar, you're just not going to know. Okay, it's not going to cut it anymore. If you just come home, even if you can't do your personal bills, if you just have a stack of papers for personal bills and you don't file them and you just leave them there, and you don't know how much interest you're paying on your credit cards or whatever, you're probably not going to be successful in business. You need to know exactly what you're spending on every category so you can be successful with that. Now, some people just put everything in a box, every receipt they ever get, and they forget about it. Well, what I do is at the end of the day, I take every single receipt, I enter it in my Quicken program as an expense or income or whatever, and mainly expenses, and I enter it in there. And then every day when I run a sale through my credit card machine, or if somebody pays me cash or whatever, I put that in underneath the income. Now I'm explaining all this to you because you wouldn't believe the number of people that I want to start my own business. They're all hot and on fire, and they can't even organize their personal finances. Well, now you're really going to be in trouble, because you got to have that stuff accurate for the IRS. So want to make sure you get a Quicken program. Keep track of spending and income. You want to have a profit and loss sheet every quarter, and you're going to turn that into your accountant. And your accountant's going to go ahead and put in all your numbers correctly on the correct forms from what you gave that accountant. And then they'll tell you what you need to send to the IRS or whatever. You really won't be paying taxes if you're subchapter S, because it will all come off at the end of the year. But you are going to have to pay payroll taxes on whatever you pay yourself or pay your employees, and that's got to be sent in quarterly, and a few other miscellaneous things. Nothing major, a few dollars here or there to these different things. Anyway, your accountant's going to know that. And if you ever get audited, if you have an accountant, you're in much better shape than if you're just doing it all yourself. The IRS will look at you more favorably if you have a third party doing all of your finances and looking over it for you. But it all starts with you in the house every day, entering your receipts, or once a week, or whatever you're going to do, into the Quicken program. Then you can ask Quicken, how much did I spend on fuel last month? How much did I spend on repairs last quarter? How much did I spend on salaries? How much did I spend on this or that? And you just ask it, and it spits out the number for you. So it's very quickly, you will know. Are you making money or losing money? A lot of people think they're making money because they're taking in all this money, but they don't have a clue on how much is going out. You're not going to have a successful business until you can properly record all your income and outgo every day and know that. You should know your numbers. Your accountant isn't much money. It's like $150 a quarter or something like this, $200 a quarter. But they will also be able to answer any questions for you and make sure that you're doing things right. You don't want to lie or cheat on your numbers. Talk about ethics for a minute. When you go for a home loan and you're self-employed, they want to look at your last 2 years. Okay, income tax. And so if you were hiding money from the IRS, let's say you got tips, like in the charter boat business, we get tips, cash tips. Well, you can just take that, put it in your pocket, nobody knows any difference. But if you do that, then you're shorting yourself on how much income you actually made, or how much payroll that you paid yourself. So you should record everything down to the dime, because there's going to come a day when you're going to apply for a business loan or a home loan, and they're going to say, show me your last 2 years business reports. Show me your last 2 years personal income tax. And if you've been hiding money to think that you're going to save taxes and you're going to cheat the IRS, you're just going to cheat yourself. And you're going to cheat yourself, and then you're not going to get that loan or that home loan or business loan, because you didn't report all your money. You made $100,000, but it looks on paper that you only made $50,000. So it's not going to do you any good to try to cheat the IRS or lie about your numbers, because it's going to come back at you. And if you ever wanted to sell your company and you're lying about the income, anybody want to buy your company, or if you have an investor in your company, they're going to say, show me your profit and loss sheets. You're going to have to show that to them for the last year or two. They're going to want to see how you're doing. Well, if you're lying about your numbers, or you can't enter your numbers every day, or you forget or whatever, they're probably not going to invest in your company. Because the only thing that matters is what's on paper, and what's on paper accurately. Okay, another thing is, don't mix your personal and business expenses. That's a big no-no, especially if you're an LLC. Okay, you don't want to pay them out of the same account. You don't want to mix your credit card, your refrigerator that you just bought, with a tool that you just bought. That's a big no-no. Then you got interest on that. And then the interest each month, you apply it to business, you apply it to personal. So it just creates a big problem. So don't mix your business with your personal. Really, you should have a subchapter S corporation, and then you should have your personal entity. You should not mix them. And you should have 2 different Quicken programs, one for your personal and one for your business. And the other thing is on your vehicle. You can either buy a business vehicle, and you can write off interest payment on that and any expenses, fuel, repairs, whatever. Or if you just want to use your personal vehicle, you just write off the mileage. I think the IRS gives you like 55 cents a mile or something like that. So then you just write off the mileage. You can't do both. You either get the mileage, or you write off the truck interest. You can't write off the truck payment, but the truck interest and any expenses. So then another thing I want to tell you, what your Quicken won't do, but your accountant will do, is your depreciation. When you buy a lawnmower, the IRS lets you depreciate that out. When you buy a truck, IRS lets you depreciate that out. Charter boat, same thing. So depreciation is something your accountant will figure out for you on your quarterly report. And let's say you made $50,000, okay? but your depreciation is $40,000 on all your stuff. So that really only gives you a profit of $10,000 on paper. Okay, so that means you're only paying taxes on the $10,000. So if you're not using an accountant, you're probably not getting that depreciation benefit, which is huge. So you want to have that. Also, if you're paying yourself a salary, which you should be, the IRS says you need to pay yourself a salary that what anybody in that job would be getting paid. Okay, so if you would be getting paid $11 an hour to go cut lawns, then you got to pay yourself $11 an hour. Okay, and because you need to pay your payroll taxes, which comes out to about 15%, because you're paying 7.5% on the person. The employer pays 7.5%, and the person who's employed pays 7.5%. But since you're the owner of the business and you are the only employee, you're paying 15%. Okay, so every time you pay yourself a salary, and you need to be paying yourself a salary, if you're not paying yourself a salary, then you're subject yourself to some big trouble with the IRS. But you have to be paying yourself a salary. And so anyway, a reasonable salary. So when at the end of the quarter, you'll tell your accountant, because you're going to enter in your Quickens, how much did I pay myself? And you're going to enter in there $1,000 or whatever. And then you're going to have to pay 15% on that. And you're going to have to send in a check to the Department of Revenue for that 15%. Okay, but your accountant will figure all that up for you. You might even stick it in an envelope and stamp it for you, whatever. And all you got to do is stick a check in there and sign it and send it off. So this is part of your quarterly report, which you need to do, which starts off with your Quicken. Quicken only costs like 50 or 60 bucks a year. You can just order it online and download it, or you can go down and buy it at Costco or whatever. But you'll do your Quicken, and then quarterly you'll turn it into your accountant, okay? And then she'll make up 4 quarterly reports. And at the end of the year, she will file a business tax return, because just like you file a personal tax return, you have to file a business tax return. It's not a big deal. Your accountant will stick those 4 quarters together, add them up on one piece of paper, give it to you, tell you to sign it, and you know, if you need to send in any money, send it in or whatever. But if you're subchapter S, you won't be sending in any money with that, because all of your profits or losses from your business tax return goes on your personal tax return. So don't file your personal tax return at the end of the year until you get your business tax return done. And business tax returns have to be filed by March 15th on average, and your income tax personal is usually like April 15th. So you need to be organized. If you're not organized in your personal life, you're probably not going to be organized in your business life, which means your business probably not going to go anywhere. Okay, so you have to go home and get yourself some manila folders like I got right here, okay, and make up a folder with different subjects, you know, boat trailers, lawnmowers. Make up folders and be organized. And then what I do is I take my receipts every day and I enter them in Quicken, and then I stick them in this drawer. Okay, I enter them in Quicken, I stick them in the drawer here. Once a week, that drawer gets emptied and filed into manila folders. So the more organized you can be in your personal life and in your business life, the more successful you will be as a business person. If you're not organized now, you're probably not going to be successful in your business. You need to be organized with your papers, your receipts. You need to put it all in a Quicken program. Do your quarterly reports, go see your accountant, and do everything above board ethically, and then you will be successful in business, and that's my advice to you today. So that's video 7 in how to start your own business, and we got more videos coming behind that, 3 or 4 or 5 more. So if you want to like them, go ahead and like them and hit subscribe, and I'll keep them coming. These videos are to help you. I don't make any money. I don't make a dime out of any of this, and that's not my goal. My goal is that I was helped by videos over YouTube over many years and by people, and also learned some lessons the hard way. So my goal is to help you be successful and starting and running a small business.